And I was so glad to be understood.
السلام عليكم. معكم مروان من دار العربي للنشر والتوزيع. دلوقتي احنا عاملين لقاء مع الكاتبة السويسرية ميرال بخصوص كتابها الحياة هنا. ودلوقتي احنا دي حلقة من ضمن حلقاتنا في فكرتنا ان احنا بنعمل لقاءات مع مؤلفين ونسألهم أسئلة بخصوص الكتب بتاعتهم وبخصوص حياتهم أيضاً وحاجات متعلقة بطريقة كتابهم وهكذا. وهنبدأ لقائنا دلوقتي مع الأستاذة والكاتبة الشهيرة ميرال. Your writing, this was something that it's not necessarily related to you growing up in Switzerland.
No, not really, but with my first book, this Elephants in the Garden, of course, it's something in the story. Also, the family is like immigrate from Kosovo to Switzerland, and the girl is growing up here in Switzerland. So of course it also makes something with my writing and with my books. So I took it and put it in my protagonist.
Now for the next question, do you believe that an author's life influences their writing in any way?
Of course, like everything influences me, like a movie, a moving, like a smell, everything. So of course also a country and people and another language. also in a good way. So you have another view. If you come from another country, so you have another view, another place. You can like sit and watch the people and how they act and how they speak, and so you can just take them and put them in a book if you want.
Yes. You said that you immigrated, you and your family, from Kosovo, right?
Yes.
And when you came to Switzerland, you had some ideas about how you imagine Switzerland. Did this change over the years?
I didn't have an imagination of Switzerland. I don't know. It was special, and I didn't want to go. So I wanted to stay with my friends and my family. I didn't want to change country. So, but my parents decided to come. So it was for a child. It was necessarily like this. So for me, it was not the country. For me, the problem was my friends and my family. So yes. I was not happy to go, and I didn't have imagination of a country. I knew it's not totally different because it's not so far away. Yes. Like it's not Hawaii. So I knew it's maybe a little bit colder.
Yes.
And so, but it wasn't. And I knew it's a new language. I knew it's a new culture, but it wasn't. I was also interested to see something new.
Yes.
Yeah.
The language and the culture, did you like face many problems trying to adapt, or because you immigrated at a young age, you were able to learn quickly and understand the Swiss culture?
Yes, of course, I was 10 years old when we came to Switzerland. So I had time to learn the language and the culture and everything. But I saw with like my parents, they were 35, like in my age now. So for them, it was a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And also with other people, like they didn't had a lot of Swiss friends. And like, I don't know, it's really different. If you come from another country and you're an immigrant, you stay an immigrant, you know?
Yes.
Because of your name, like they can't see that I am a migrant, but my name is not a Swiss name.
Yes.
So it's always like this, you know, if I have a reading and here in Switzerland, yes. And after the reading they ask me, how long you're here? Oh, your language is so great. You learned really well German. And I'm like, why not? Because I'm here since 25 years. Yes. Or 30 years. And this is like a positive racism for me, because the people, they can't imagine that, of course, you can learn a language in 30 years. So yes. Why not? And also they asked me also, did you wrote this book in German, or did you wrote in Turkish and then somebody translated it in German? I was like, why? No. So this is really something I have to explain every time. Yes. And this is why my name is Meral Kureyshi.
Well, yes, like countries like Switzerland are like first world countries. They don't understand that it's like learning a language and understanding it. It could be easy. And also, given your circumstances, you spent nearly like 90% of your life here in Switzerland. So you feel like it's your home.
Yeah, of course, it's my home. So, but for people they don't know me, of course, it's not my home. So they always also ask me, do you like Switzerland? It's yeah. What's your hometown, or what are you for a feeling if you're in Prizren, in Kosovo, or here? So is this your hometown? And I'm like, no, I didn't grow up there. Why? My family is here. My friends are here. No, but they can't imagine. I don't know that they're really friendly and everything, but they don't understand. So I have to explain every time. Yeah.
It becomes difficult when you have to explain a lot of times.
Yes, it's different, and it's also not funny. Sometimes I will just talk about my book or my feelings or my thoughts or my reading, and then you have to talk every time and also now, you have to talk about immigration. So in my first book, the immigration was also a part of the story.
Yes.
But in Switzerland, it's really the part of the story, the huge part. But for me, it's not the huge part. For me, the huge part in the story is the death and the relationship between father and daughter. And here, after the readings, I always have to talk about immigration. But for example, I was in Cairo for readings, and there the people always asked me questions about the death and also about father-daughter relationship. And I was so glad to be understood. It depends, countries and cultures, like what about you will talking.
Yes.
So here is really, of course, it's also a big thing here, the immigrations and everything. Yes. But I don't speak about death or relationships because they don't want to.
Well, at least when you came here to Egypt, you were glad, and like you didn't feel like it was difficult for you. So that makes us happy as Egyptians.
But it was easy in this bubble, like with during the reading and after, and with the people I met, it was really great, a great time. But also like outside it was difficult also for me. It's totally something else, of course.
Okay. Well, ready for the next question?
Yes. maybe I already answered a lot of questions.
Well, we still have more questions. Like I'm enjoying this interview with you, and I want to know more, like how about you and your circumstances and your environment. It's very interesting, not only to me, but like to many people, especially Arabs, because as you know, like in the Arab world, there are like millions of people who immigrated because like our history was rough. So
yes.
it was very difficult for many people here in many Arab countries to grow up in their own country and like their identity being shaped here. So I'm just glad that I'm able to talk with you about this, and also that you have a similar experience as many people.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
To what extent would you regard your novel Elefanten im Karton autobiographical?
For me, the truth is so boring. I like fiction, and I like lies and lying.
Oh.
Of course, how I write is I start with a memory.
Yes.
or with a, I don't know, a picture, or with a smell. I start to write with this, but after a while it takes me in another world. Like it opens, like I don't know, you know, it's like dreaming. Sometime you wake up in the morning and you think, it was so real. My dream was so real. It wasn't a dream, you know? And in this moment, you try to explain to somebody with words, everything changes. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand what you mean.
And then it's not real, never, never. And you think, why I thought it was so real? And this explaining to somebody with this with words to try to explain, you see, no, it wasn't real. No, it wasn't a sea, it was a sky. No, it wasn't blue, it was red. No, it wasn't my father, it was my sister, you know?
Yes.
So my writing is like this.
Okay.
I start with a reality, a kind of reality, memory. Memory is not reality. If we know, like if I told you how was my day yesterday, I would lie to you because it's just my memory. It's not the reality. So I try to start with a memory, and then it's like dreaming and wake up in the morning.
Well, that's very interesting. Like how you feel that how your writing comes from, especially that to you, your memories and dreams, like they could be reality, but at the same time, maybe they're not always the real thing.
Yes, that's the thing.
That's very interesting. Did you face any challenges when you went to your Swiss publishers to publish your novel?
Yeah, of course, it's not easy to find a publisher. So I tried. I didn't believe that in the end my manuscript will be a book. Yeah. So it was really special. So I sent it to 5 publishers.
Yes.
I liked, and then I had really luck. 3 of them, they wanted to publish it.
Okay.
So I had a choose. Yes, and I took this one with the best editor because for me, because he was really hard. He was like not like the others. The others were like, it's perfect, it's so nice, we want it like this, and we don't want change. And the editor, the other one I took, he was like, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to do this. Maybe we have to talk about this. And maybe this one you have to change with another part. You know, he wanted to work with me.
It wasn't flexible with him.
Yes, and I liked it really much, but because I wanted to work with the manuscript. It wasn't finished. Mm-hmm. And it was really a great work together.
And he was the best editor, as he said, that you worked with.
For me, yeah, he was really great. Yeah. He knew how to ask good questions. Okay. And this is, I guess, hard.
Do you think that as a writer, winning prizes is important?
Of course, it's nice to have like money. Yes. That means you have time. So you need time to write. But for the writing, for the work, it's not necessary to win prizes. Of course not. I also wrote as a child, as a teenie in the school, and I also wrote in the during my studies. So I didn't have prizes or money for it, but I did it because I had to, and I mean, writing is not like doing movies where you need people and a lot of money and everything. You need just a pencil and a paper. So of course you need time, but this time you can take if you really want to do something, and also without money. Yes. So my Elephant in the Garden, I wrote it without money. So the prizes you win after it's like out, it's published. So of course it helps, like for, not for writing the new one, but yeah, somehow maybe you feel understood. I don't know.
You have a special writing style, and it was very clear in your novel. Was it like this writing style? Was it intentional, or like did the novel dictate this writing style?
I don't see my writing style, so I just write. Okay. And other people, they can like read it and they can see my style, or also then in a second or third book. But for me, it's just like reading, writing. It's totally natural. It's like how I think and how I think it is good to describe a scene. So for me, it's really natural how I write. But of course, everyone has a style, but I can't say what kind of style I have, because I'm not my reader. I'm just the writer.
Yes.
So I like poetry, and I think it's also in it. So the poetry and the rhythm is in my books. And also when I read my texts, I have to do it loud if I can hear it. And so I see also, or I hear the rhythm, so I can work with it.
How do you feel like when people tell you that you have a special writing style? Like, is that something that you feel proud of as a writer?
Of course, it's so nice if the people see like, or recognize my style. It's so great, of course, because it's then, you know, you can say this after 2 or 3 books, I guess. Yes. You know, now my second book, 5 Seasons, is out since a couple of months, and now people come to me and say, I like your style, how you write, how you like how you see things and how you write.
The next question, the elephant in the garden and the elephant in the room, do both relate to a certain aspect in Swiss European society?
The story is an elephant in the room, but elephant in the garden means something else for me. Elephant in the garden is a small part in the novel. It's like after holidays, the little girl comes to school, and everyone's like telling good stories about their holidays and what they did, fantastic. And she was at home and she didn't have stories to tell, so she lied. She begins to lie about her country, about everything. I mean, she tells about elephants in the garden in her country, so, and the others just listening to her. And then she realized that if she had stories to tell, the other will listening to her. So I took this for the book because, I mean, this is also the whole story. So if you try to tell a story, the other will listening.
Yes.
So for me, it's really, yeah, elephants in the garden, it's a lie.
You said earlier that you had a book that was like published several months ago. Since that time, is there like another project that you're working on?
Yes, in my head. I know it will be a story about two women, like a relationship about two women. I'm just thinking about who are they and where they live, how old are they, how they looks, how they think, how they feel, what they doing for living. So this is my work now.
These were all the questions, and I'm really happy with this interview, and I've really liked this conversation that we had.
Thank you so much. Me too.
We're very thankful for this interview.
Thank you so much. It was really great. Thank you for your questions.